I don't know if I already made a video about this, but so today I just found somebody gave me an ID that is a duplicate of my own ID. So, very strange. Some homeless dude had this ID, and this is the real ID. This is my ID. Very strange. So, one thing that used to happen, is every time I get on the Metro A train, it would break down for some reason. We'd all have to get off and stand around for a little while, and then another train would show up, or something like that. There was always something going on. And I remember getting on the A train and thinking, we'll see if I get anywhere. And sure enough, so one day, one of the most poignant days, as I would say, is I got on the A train, and sure enough, they announced that it broke down, or that there was a power surge or power out, and that the A train is stopping right here at Union Station. So I had to get off at Union Station, and normally what I do is I go one more stop to the next stop you can get on the E train, which will take you to Santa Monica Beach. So I realized I had to get off, and so I went down at the Union Station, and there's this big giant hallway, and it's got those smooth floors, and a bunch of people going everywhere. And I think it was more busy than usual because there were people everywhere. I mean, the place was crowded. And I'm just thinking, now what do I do? I had plans to get on from the A train to get on the E train, and then from the E train that would take me to where I was going. So I'm kind of like walking around Union Station trying to figure out what I'm going to do. And as I'm walking down this big, massive hallway, okay, and this hallway goes, up ahead, and to the right and to the left, every couple 100 feet or so, there's a place where you can walk up and either get on some other train or some other. They also have the Amtrak there. So there's a bunch of different places you can, kind of like an airport where there's different ports or different terminals. Anyway, I'm walking down this big hallway, and this lady comes from behind me, walks in front of me, and then she turns around, pulls out a pair of scissors, and goes, "That man's following me!" And she yells really loud, and then she starts running away like I'm chasing her. And I'm like going, what? And then but by now I had been a targeted individual for so long, it kind of didn't faze me. I was just like, this again? Like this type of weird stuff? And what's weird is in LA, nobody even did anything. People just kept walking. And I was just standing there going, whatever. Anyway, she ran away as if I was following her. And then she stopped at the far end where there's like a little food court area. I think there's a Subway sandwich and a cup. I think there's a Starbucks over there. Oh yeah, there's a Starbucks. Or is there? Anyway, there's like a Subway and a Starbucks, and there's like a bunch of little. Anyway, so when I get to that point, and I didn't even bother me. I mean, it bothered me, but I was so accustomed to being targeted and having weird things like that happen that I was ready to just continue to go where I was going. And even though I saw her up ahead, then when I got to about where she was, she starts yelling, "He's chasing me!" And she goes running into the women's bathroom. And I was just like, whatever. And at that point, I didn't know where I was going to go or what I was going to do, because normally I'd be on the E train by now, heading to Santa Monica. And then I figured out that there's a bus, the 33 to Santa Monica. So I thought, okay, I'll go do that. So I got on the 33 to Santa Monica. And I know anybody who thinks I'm lying about this, I would not. How do you come up with this? This is beyond your normal imagination, okay? I'm just saying, I don't see why would I do that? What, do you think I have such a low self-esteem that I would make up these stories, try to get attention? Anyway, so I'm over there waiting for the 33 to show up because somebody told me, oh, there's a 33 to Santa Monica. So I was waiting for the 33. And then it finally comes on. I jump on. and it starts going, right? And I'm sitting in the seat, and as we're driving along, we drove about maybe 10 or 15, like 10 minutes. We got pretty far away. And I know, oh yeah, and also I felt like people on that bus were kind of looking at me, but it's LA, so people look at you. I mean, that's normal, right? So, but I'm sitting on the bus, and I remember I saw the bus driver suddenly pick up his phone and start talking to someone, and then he looks in the mirror, because there's a mirror where they can look, not a rear view mirror, but it's like a rear view in that they can see who's on the bus and who's behind them. And he looks right at me. And then I'm thinking, oh, okay. And then suddenly he pulls over and he announces on the little thing, this bus is out of order. We're going to have to return this bus to this bus is out of order. Everybody has to exit the bus right now. And I knew it had something to do with me. The moment I saw him pick up his phone, I knew, okay, something's going on here. And then, of course, he looked right at me in the mirror. And then, of course, right then he picks up the little thing and says, we're having a problem with this bus. Everybody's going to have to exit. So the bus pulls over. We all get off. That bus stays right there. And a few minutes later, another 33 comes up. And I got on the 33. And when I got on, there was a bunch of people staring at me. So I walked right from the front entrance of the bus. I walked straight to the back entrance and stepped right off. Because those buses have a door in the front and a door in the back. So you can exit from the back and enter on the front. So I just walked through the bus and got off. Then I went on a long walk because I didn't want to. Then I realized I was right near the police station, the LAPD police station. Some precinct unit. And then I waited for another 33 bus and got on that maybe 20 minutes later. And then I felt like, okay, I shook them from my tail. Like I've done some sort of, I got rid of them. They're no longer able to follow me or something. I don't know how, but the police helicopter flew right by. That was another thing. As soon as the police helicopter was there too that day. So then later on, I get on another 33 going the same direction. And I'm sitting there and I finally had peace about it because I didn't feel like anybody was looking at me. I didn't feel like there was any strange thing going on. And then sure enough, one of the stops, some guy gets on and he looks like he's all on drugs. And he goes and jumps on the seat directly across from me and just lays down and sprawls out and looks like he's falling asleep. And I was suspicious of him just because, I don't know why, I just was. And then the bus kept going, and now the bus is going to be in, I didn't realize how long it was going to take, because usually I'm on the E train, which is another about 45 minutes, but the bus stops every quarter of a mile, it seems like. Anyway, at some point on this bus, the guy that got on and laid down and looked kind of like a homeless person, suddenly jumped up, lunged at me, looked me right in the eye, and he said, "You know too much!" And then he jumped back on the seat where he was and laid back down like he was sleeping in the same position he was. And I'm sitting there going, what? And then I'm sitting there, how do I know too much? And I'm thinking, maybe I know too much about this, or do I know too much about that? Or what is it that I know too much about? And at that time, I didn't realize that I was targeted because of some things I said on YouTube. Or maybe I did know that. Or maybe I thought I was targeted for other reasons, like I was gaslit by these people. Yeah, it was just so crazy. Like, I couldn't figure out why I was a targeted individual. Anyway, there's been a pretty massive operation again to mess me up, dude. And I'm just saying. And I remember he went and laid back down, that guy who just got in my face. And I was thinking, should I talk to him? Should I kick his leg and say, "Hey, who are you? Where are you from? What are, like." But he was just laying there, and I I just stayed on the bus until I got to Santa Monica. And I think that was the day that I walked to Venice Beach from the Santa Monica. Oh, no. I got off at Venice Beach because it's different from the E-train. And so that particular bus, the E-train goes straight to Santa Monica Beach and you can walk to Venice. That particular bus kind of goes past Venice Beach before it gets to Santa Monica. So I noticed the sign said Venice Beach, so I got off at Venice instead. And that was the day that when I was walking, everywhere I walked, there seemed like there was police officers. Oh, another thing that happened one day, I know it was a different time because I just got off the E-train at Santa Monica Beach and I was walking out onto the pier and I could see up ahead there was a group of police officers. And they had the police car and there's a little police station right there on the Santa Monica pier. It just says Santa Monica Police. And there was a cruiser out there, and there was about 5 police officers. It just seemed like they were just hanging out. And when I got to about 15, maybe 15 or 20 feet away, one of them looked at me, and then they all walked straight into the police department. And I don't know. It's just weird. So, I mean, I don't know if they think I'm a murderer, if they think I'm some sort of spy for the Russians or Chinese spy. And keep in mind, this was before Trump came into office, and this is during a time when look at the kind of war stuff. And I've been talking about war on YouTube since 2014. So I think that's what got me targeted. So, I mean, I don't know. And so far, going through the court system has not produced any answers. So, whatever.